Thank you. I had a question. I do a lot of healing work, and I'm wanting to do it in a better way. I feel like I'm a little nervous right now. I feel I'm able to tune in almost immediately when people come in to see me.
Yes? What are you tuning to?
Letting go.
So you're tuning to the wellness that is already in their vortex?
Frequently, not always, with repeat patients that
Yes.
I see, that's difficult.
The reason we ask, the hard part is not tuning to where they are.
Yes.
Because they want to talk to you about it.
Yes.
And they're exemplifying it. And so how is it that you are able to tune to the wellness when it would be easy to see the illness?
Sometimes I use tools that I've received from you, and other times I just receive information during the process. Sometimes I don't do well at it. Sometimes I just
do you think it ever has anything to do with them?
Meaning?
Sometimes it's easier than others because sometimes they're offering such a barrage of energy that if you're not really on solid ground, they can cause fluctuation in your connection. So it's about your preparation in advance, isn't it?
Yes, I know that. I probably haven't been doing as much.
No, you're doing really well.
Yeah.
But how close together are your conversations?
Maybe they're back to back all day long.
How much time in between?
Maybe 15 minutes I can create.
So during that 15 minutes, that's because you tune in. We know you do. Yeah. And help. And then you take a break. What happens during that break usually? Where do your thoughts go?
Okay, I see where you're going. Paperwork usually.
Yeah.
Chart notes and.
Yeah.
So then putting that aside and then recentering myself.
So would you say, and we are not putting these words in your mouth, we are asking you to evaluate, would you say that you tune in and help, that's step 3?
Yes.
And then during the break between patients, you do other work, and is that step 1 work? How does that work feel to you? Is it work you like to do? Is it work that you wish somebody else would do?
It has to be done.
It has to be done. We know it has to be done, but things that have to be done are far from things that you want to do.
Yes.
So that right there's your area that you can improve, either by lining up with that work and doing it, or lining up with not doing it and don't do it. But when you don't line up and do it, split energy. Yes. Or when you don't line up with not doing it and then feel guilty for not doing it, that's split energy.
Yes.
So
what do you do? I mean.
Well, you say things to yourself such as, this is the best time to do this because it's fresh on my mind. This is the best time to. So is what you're doing about the person that you just talked to, is that the work that you're doing?
Yes.
And so it is the follow-up to that. And so
is.
that really is the best time to do that. And so this is the best time to do this, and so I'm going to do this. And I'm getting more efficient at doing it, and I'm finding even yet more efficient ways to do it. So make peace with that 15-minute segment, and you're good to go.
Okay. So I also have a question about meditation, which you have already covered, but I feel like all day long I'm sort of in a meditative place as I'm communicating.
In the sense that you're in the receiving mode, we agree, except for that 15-minute break.
So in terms of intending a better direction in my life, during meditation and receiving information for myself,
Well, meditation isn't the time to direct anything because, you know, it's sort of hard to hear this, but you do your best directing of your life when you're most unhappy with your life. Because that's when you're bouncing the most rockets into your vortex. In other words, everything that isn't the way you like it, that's when you make an entry into your vortex, and your inner being gets it.
Right.
Your inner being knows exactly what is meant by that incoming rocket.
Right.
And so the meditation is where you quiet your mind. Do you feel, can you describe the difference between the alignment that you feel when you are doing your healing work and the alignment you feel when you're meditating?
The alignment I feel doing the healing work is more like just totally receiving and sharing. And when I'm meditating, if I'm really deeper, it's an empty place.
So that's good. And that's the way, if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would intend it to be. Because when you're doing your healing work, you're in the flow. You've already meditated yourself into alignment, and now it's flowing. And then quieting your mind is something quite different than your mind being completely activated with your inner being, isn't it?
It's true. It took me a while to embrace the fact that I do what I do, and I'm still doing what I do. And now I'm better at it, maybe, than I have ever been.
Well, we think that most of your negative report on yourself was in not understanding the difference in the fluctuations of the energies that were coming to you, for the people involved. Because you don't have to be that tuned in if somebody who's asking for your help is. Because they just summon what they need right through you. But if they're hurting, or if they're doubting, or if they're, then your alignment is really helpful.
Okay.
Your alignment, you always want to seek alignment, but we're just explaining to you why you think you're better at it now. And it's because you're owning the room more now.
That's true too. Thank you. Yeah.
Something else?
More on my own personal path. Aside from that, just clarity about maybe like a long-term direction for myself. Yeah, because
You're looking for a detour or something different?
Yes, maybe. I don't know. Because maybe if I continue to do this better and better, I'm less disturbed by I don't know. I mean, I've thought at times I do want to do something different because I couldn't maintain my center and my balance, but I'm better at that now. And
the thing that happens, this is specific work that you're doing, and there's a better word than specific, poignant work, but there's a better word than poignant, intense.
Yeah.
This is intense work that you're doing because of the intensity of the people that you're meeting with.
Yes.
And so when a lot of that is happening, it's important that you maintain your stability. And that's not always the easiest thing to do. But we know for sure that maintaining your stability and continuing that work is the path of least resistance, far more than no longer doing that work because you haven't maintained your stability.
Okay.
In other words, picking something else will not bring you satisfaction in the way that staying where you are and maintaining your stability will.
It's very satisfying when that is happening.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little bit like, well, all of you have the same experience, but the moment of the flow, life just doesn't get any better than that. But then there's everything leading up to it. And so how many hours a day would you say that you're in that receiving mode?
At least 8, maybe.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Why? That's why afterwards I'm like, do I need to meditate? You know, I think this is...
Well, usually not, but why so much?
Financial reasons, to keep things moving in that direction.
So, and what does that feel like to you? Responsibility?
Yes. Yes.
And would you put responsibility on the upper or the lower half of the emotional scale?
That's pretty low.
It is. And it brings resentment and
It can,
things
yeah.
like that. So what might you deactivate that would release that feeling of responsibility?
Right now, I'm just kind of amazed for a second, just kind of that you went there and just got that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
If you were putting something in the inactive box about it,
I always think more about, well, I want to think more in terms of prosperity and abundance.
we know. We've been teaching that for a long time, and we've kind of got you all hooked in that direction. But making inactive the things that are cluttering up your.
The things aren't going to be okay if I'm not the one doing it.
All right. So in your mind, it's my intention to render inactive this bogus thought that I have to do it all,
Yes.
or that this is hard work, or that I'm not on my right path. In other words, you'll find as you render those things less active, you'll find that there's not any interruption in your flow. And then what happens is people that are more ready to receive show up for you. Now, how did that feel? How does that feel? People that are more ready to receive show up for you, because a lot of healers would say, oh, well, I'm here to help those that really need it. And we say, you just said, I'm here to help those that aren't ready to get it. Oh, but I need to help those that really need it. We know that you want to do that. But what you really want is to right time, right place. What you really want is a meeting of the minds.
Yes.
Because you can't heal them against their will. And will doesn't mean desire. When we say you can't heal them against their will, it means you can't heal them against their ability to let you. And so sometimes you just want to let those hard cases find another teacher while you let your life flow with a little more ease and flow.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We think that's what you were reaching for.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
That do it?
Thank you. Yeah.
Really good. Really good. Isn't that right? One of our favorite parts of this day is that you all don't miss it when it happens. You're right there, getting it. You're feeling resonance with the very leading edge place that we discovered together, aren't you?
Hi. I just texted my daughter, send me the good vibes that Abraham picks me next.
So what happens in a thing like that? So were you looking for support, or were you celebrating what you could feel was coming?
I celebrated what I knew was coming, and I moved seats because I knew I had to be in that seat. And
Well, we would have found you wherever you are, but that's all right if you think you need to be in a certain seat.
Well, you know what it was? It was a worthiness thing for me, and I think that's what maybe I'm even up here to talk about. It's beautiful to be here with you, and my lifetime has been working up to the point where I am now of understanding my worthiness.
So you've been deactivating resistance in a steady way.
Absolutely.
And then you're receiving the evidence that you've done that.
Yes.
Yeah.
My life today is evidence of doing that And it was interesting how the family that I grew up in prepared me for all of what I do today. And it's the place I'm at now. I was thinking to myself, when I get the opportunity to come speak to Abraham, to you, what is it that I'd want to talk about and ask?
Well, we can tell you exactly. We're out of time. You grew up in a family, and you just said that that family helped step one you into creating a vortex, and your feeling of unworthiness, we would call it guilt, unworthiness, guilt, is that you feel like you left them behind.
I feel like I was the one that was left behind always growing up.
Left behind from what?
I was always the person left out. And I had a lot of abandonment growing up.
So you think that's still active in your vibration now?
What I think is active now because of that is learning how to show up for myself, connecting.
But you see, this is a lot of words, but they're incongruent. They're not vibrationally accurate one with another. And here's what we mean by this. What you said to us about lining up, and here you are, and evidence of releasing resistance, that's trending one way. Unworthiness and all that other stuff is trending another way. And both of those can't be vibrationally active in the same moment. So, but in your head, they are words that you can continue to repeat. But in your emotions, which rings truest right now?
I'm split.
Not right now, you're not. Anyone is split when you talk that way and that way and that way and that way and that way. But the trending, the trending of where you are, and the trending of moving around, and the trending of being in the seat, how you're trending right now. Because right now is where all of your power is. So what we're wanting to bring to your attention, and everybody else's too, is, isn't that just a funny / ridiculous thing to be in the moment of trending in a really good way and using that time to talk about moments when you don't trend?
And that's what I don't want to talk about. I want to talk about what's next.
Well, that's what we want to do too, but so let's talk about that. So, well, that means two things. It means you aren't as established in this vibration as you will be after a little deliberate thought. But the other thing that it really means is that trending is often enough that you could get a lot of good work done by rendering inactive some of that trending.
Yes.
And so can you think, just since you've been sitting here, of some things that you said to us that didn't feel good when you said them?
Even talking about past abandonment stuff, that would be put in that inactive
So
box.
what you know about the law of attraction is that you get what you think about. And that which is likened to itself is drawn. So is it possible for someone else to cause abandonment in your life?
No.
Because they can't create your reality.
Right.
And so they didn't abandon you. So what did you do? You moved on.
Yes. Oh, so you're saying what you said in the beginning about me moving on. Do I feel guilty about that?
We don't think you're feeling abandonment anymore.
No.
We think you overcame your abandonment. You hooked up
Exactly.
with Source. You moved on, and you're feeling guilty about not staying there in that familiar place. Do you talk with them often?
Not too often. My mom took her own life when I was 21, it was my birthday.
Oh, she could really hook up with you now then. She's all tuned in, tapped in, turned on.
I really think so.
Yeah?
I really think so, yeah.